Good morning, Oakfield Elementary. Please stand for the pledge. Our pledger for today is a future 4K student, Connor Karras, and his mom, Mrs. Karras, our kindergarten teacher. Take it away, Connor.
I pledge allegiance
I pledge allegiance
to the flag
to the flag
of the United States
of
United States
United States
of America
of America.
and to the republic
I can't say it.
and to the republic
We to public
for which it stands,
to which it stands,
one nation,
one nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
with liberty
and justice
and justice
for all.
for all.
Blow 'em a kiss.
Mwah.
Awesome job, Connor. Thank you for being brave and working through that with your mom. It just is a good reminder to us that as we say the pledge, we don't even think about how challenging some of the words are. But Connor reminded us when you're first learning to talk in the Republic, that can be hard to say. So thank you, Mrs. Karras, for doing that for us today. It was a great way to start our day. Today is Thursday, May 7th, 2020, our 31st day of virtual learning today. I have my blue lights glasses on today because I'm learning that being on the computer is really straining my eyes. So that's kind of why my glasses look a little funky today because they're meant for computers. And I'm not used to being on screens all day as a virtual principal. Just like it's important for you to keep taking breaks when you're doing your virtual learning because it can be hard on your eyes if you're on the computer all day. So today's National Day is Password Day. Think about all the passwords you may already have as elementary students, and then ask your parents how many passwords they have. We have a passcode to get into our house. We have passcodes on our computer. I have a passcode on my phone. I have lots of different sites that I am on being a principal, and I have different passcodes for all of those sites too. So having a password is very challenging because you have to always remember those when you're logging on to different sites. So the key with Password Day is remembering not to share your password with others unless it's someone in your family like your moms and dads. Like my kids have cell phones, but I have all of their passcodes to get on their phones because that's my responsibility to make sure they're being safe. So sometimes it's okay to share those passwords, but don't be sharing those with friends or strangers because we don't want them to have access to your accounts. So there's my little commercial for passwords today. All right, moving on to birthdays. We have a birthday shout out today for Mrs. Lindsley, our second grade teacher. Happy birthday, Mrs. Lindsley. We hope you have an extra special day, especially snuggling baby Jack, who I got to see yesterday on a Google Hangout. He is so cute. So I hope you have a great day today. Our joke of the day, what's black and white and red all over? Ready? An embarrassed zebra. Get it? So when you get embarrassed, your skin gets red and zebras are black and white. So that's our joke for the day. Moving on to our featured videos for today. I just love Staff Appreciation Week. It is so amazing to highlight all of our staff and all the great things they're doing to support students right now. And I know that many of you shout them out throughout the school year and you show your appreciation, but it's nice to have this week to just stop and pause and make sure that we're honoring those who are serving our children, our future. So the first one comes to us from a kindergarten student, Duke Sokolek, and he wants to share his learning from a science experiment he did for Mrs. Karras to basketball for Mrs. Albert and playing the keyboard for Mrs. Moore. So check out these photos. Next up is Chloe Wino, and she is sharing a card and some flowers as she's thinking of Mrs. Pino, her third grade teacher. Dexton Magnuson is also sharing some flowers with his teacher, Mrs. Luth in 4K. Cecilia and Rylan Rago are shouting out Mrs. Colleen, Mrs. Borick, and all the other staff that assist them at Oakfield Elementary School with several pictures. So take a look. You rock. What a great message. And I love that you showed the back of your shirts about I am Oakfield. And that is so true. Next up, Owen Batterman, a fifth grade student, and his dog are shouting out Mr. Shep and our Oakfield Elementary staff as well. A fourth grade student, Aiden Kerber, is sharing his gratitude with his teacher, Mrs. Primo.
Thank you for all you do, Mrs. Primo.
Anna Krista Elmore, a fourth grade student, is also sharing a colorful message for Mrs. Primo. Alex Rumbuck, a 4K student, is showcasing his learning for Mrs. Gurno and Mrs. Luth, his teachers. Parker Van Beek took to the sidewalks and did a sign with sidewalk chalk to shout out Mrs. Colleen and have a little video for us to see.
Mrs. Colleen, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and thank you for all the fun learning. Bye.
Oh man, that sweet little voice, you gotta smile when you hear that. Continuing on, Emma Justman also made a video to shout out all the Oakfield Elementary staff. Check it out.
Thank you all the teachers who teach at Oakfield Elementary School.
And to wrap up our shout outs today, Victor Hilbert, a third grade student, of course, took some music and made some signs and created a little video for all the staff he works with at Oakfield Elementary as well.
Thanks for the memory of things I can't forget. Journeys on a jet, our wondrous week in Martinique and Vegas and roulette. How lucky I was. And thanks for the memory of summers by the.
So many great messages. Keep them coming, kids. We love it. And thank you to all the parents for making it possible. We'll continue to showcase more tomorrow. And if I have more, we'll do it next week too. We'll just keep all the appreciation moving forward. So thank you again. It's such an amazing way to start our day. Moving on to shout outs. The first shout out comes to us from Mrs. Moore, and she would like to thank the families who have sent videos or pictures of students working on music. Some of those students are Bethany Margolowski, Kaylee Larson, Mason Kinsler, Audrey Foster, Josie Jensen, Haven Kinsler, Jane Thomas, Josh Foster, Isaac Kautzer, Aria Husak, Colton Schneider, Colin Abler, Heidi Doring, Addie Rentmeester, Elena Flateau, and Ben Bovey. So thank you for shouting out our music students in kindergarten through second grade, Mrs. Moore. And the next one is coming to us from Mrs. Larson. Thank you to these students for getting on iReady minutes every day. So they're getting in their iReady minutes every day. That's amazing. Shout outs to Austin, Jesse, Owen, Georgie, Caleb, Miranda, Mitchell, Ashlyn, and Johnny. Thank you, 5th grade students. And I know iReady can sometimes get a little boring and maybe you're not feeling motivated to do it. But remember, it is hitting the skills where you're at in reading and math. 45 minutes a week, that's all we're asking. And although we try not to be on technology a ton, this is definitely worth the time being on that. And also your teachers get immediate feedback on how you're doing on the lesson. So thank you 5th grade students in Mrs. Larson's class for being good examples of that. In Oak Pride updates, we have 1 day left of staff appreciation, so continue to shout out your teachers and we can't wait to see what else you have for us tomorrow. And then for guest teachers and parents, thank you again for continuing to support your students. I don't have any new updates right now, but I just want to review an old strategy we talked about. The when-then strategy or the if-then strategy. When you work on your schoolwork, then you can go outside for a while. So make sure that we're kind of putting that in perspective of what they need to do first, and then they get to have some free time just to help continue to balance that out. I know as we continue to go through it, we need to remind ourselves of those strategies. So to end our Thursday announcements today, we are going to go back to a staff appreciation sign. This one comes with a huge smile, amazing colors, and Haven Kinsler is going to wrap up announcements today with her thank you to all staff. That's all I have for announcements on this thrilling Thursday. Remember to show expected behaviors, stay in the green zone, and be Oak strong. We know you got this. Last day and tomorrow's a catch-up day for you. So get your work done now so you can enjoy tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone.